Today, I want to talk about a subject that often lurks in the shadows of our relationships: manipulation. It's a word that carries a heavy weight, often associated with deceit and control. But what if I told you that we have the power to turn the tables? We can learn to manipulate those who manipulate us, not with deceit, but with awareness, boundaries, and empowerment. First, let's take a moment to understand what manipulation really is. It's that subtle influence that can twist our thoughts, emotions, and decisions. It's the friend who always knows how to pull at your heartstrings, or the colleague who plays the victim when things don't go their way. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step in reclaiming your power. But awareness is just the beginning. It's essential to cultivate a deep sense of self-awareness. When you feel that familiar discomfort, that unease in your gut, pause. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Understanding your emotions can empower you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting out of fear or frustration. Remember, your feelings matter. Now, let's talk about boundaries. Setting clear, healthy boundaries is one of the most empowering steps you can take. It's not about shutting people out, it's about letting them know what you will and will not accept. When you communicate your limits confidently, you take control of the situation. You say, I deserve respect, and I won't allow anyone to cross that line. Knowledge is a powerful ally. Educate yourself about the tactics of manipulation. Familiarize yourself with the signs, and you'll be amazed at how much easier it becomes to navigate these situations. When you know the game, you can play it smarter, not harder. But here's an interesting twist: manipulation isn't always negative. It can also be about positively influencing those around us. Think of it as guiding someone gently towards growth or encouraging collaboration in a team. We can use our understanding of influence to uplift rather than undermine. So how do we take control? It starts with your mindset. When you feel manipulation creeping in, shift the dynamic. Use your insights to guide the conversation. Speak your truth and express your needs openly. By doing so, you create a space for mutual respect and understanding, transforming a potentially toxic interaction into a constructive dialogue. In closing, remember that manipulation doesn't have to leave us feeling powerless. We have the ability to navigate these waters with grace and strength. By understanding manipulation, setting boundaries, and using our influence wisely, we can transform our relationships into ones that are built on respect, authenticity, and empowerment. Manipulation is a term that evokes strong emotions and often has negative connotations. It refers to the act of influencing someone in a way that can deceive or control them, often without their awareness. Manipulation can occur in various relationships, whether personal, professional, or casual. It's important to recognize the different forms manipulation can take and the impact it has on our lives. Understanding manipulation involves acknowledging its existence in our interactions. One of the first steps to navigating manipulation is developing self-awareness. Self-awareness means recognizing your feelings and reactions when you sense someone is attempting to manipulate you. This awareness is essential because it allows you to pause and reflect rather than react impulsively. When faced with manipulation, you might experience discomfort, confusion, or even anger. Instead of allowing those emotions to dictate your response, take a moment to assess the situation. Ask yourself why you feel this way. Understanding the root of your feelings can empower you to respond thoughtfully and assertively, transforming a potentially negative interaction into a moment of growth and self-assertion. Setting boundaries is another crucial aspect of managing manipulation. Boundaries are limits you establish to protect your emotional and mental well-being. When you communicate your boundaries clearly, you create a sense of safety in your relationships. It's not about shutting people out, it's about establishing what you will and will not tolerate. When someone crosses a boundary, it can feel violating, but having that boundary in place means you can assertively communicate your discomfort. For instance, if a friend consistently borrows money without paying you back, it's essential to express that you are not comfortable lending them money anymore. By setting this boundary, you take control of the situation and signal that you value your own needs and well-being. Knowledge is a powerful tool when it comes to manipulation. Educating yourself about the tactics manipulators often use can give you an edge in recognizing their behaviors. Manipulators may use guilt, fear, or flattery to influence others. By being aware of these tactics, you can approach interactions with a critical eye. Knowledge enables you to identify manipulation early on, allowing you to protect yourself from falling into their traps. It's about understanding the psychology behind manipulation and recognizing that while some people may use these tactics, you have the power to stand firm in your convictions and assert your needs. Interestingly, not all manipulation is negative. It's important to differentiate between harmful manipulation and positive influence. While harmful manipulation seeks to control or deceive, positive manipulation aims to inspire and encourage. For example, a teacher might use persuasion to motivate students to study harder, or a leader might influence a team to collaborate more effectively. Positive manipulation can foster growth, teamwork, and connection. The key is to understand the intentions behind the manipulation and to ensure that your actions align with your values and ethics. Taking control in the face of manipulation involves a mindset shift. When you sense someone attempting to manipulate you, instead of feeling victimized, you can shift the dynamic by using your understanding to guide the conversation. Speak your truth and express your needs openly. For example, if a colleague tries to undermine you in a meeting, you can address it calmly and assertively by stating your perspective. This approach not only protects your interests, but also establishes a foundation of respect in the interaction. When you engage with others from a place of self-assuredness and clarity, you empower yourself and create opportunities for constructive dialogue. By understanding manipulation, setting boundaries, and using your influence wisely, you can transform potentially harmful situations into ones that foster mutual respect and growth. This ability to manipulate those who manipulate you is not about revenge or deceit. It's about reclaiming your power and ensuring that your relationships are grounded in respect and authenticity. As you navigate the complexities of manipulation in your life, remember that you are not powerless. By cultivating self-awareness, establishing boundaries, and seeking knowledge, you can effectively manage manipulative behaviors in others while maintaining your integrity and self-respect. Ultimately, it's about using your insights to create healthier, more fulfilling relationships grounded in honesty, understanding, manipulation is a complex and often misunderstood behavior that can significantly affect our relationships and interactions with others. At its core, manipulation involves influencing someone to achieve a desired outcome, often at the expense of their autonomy or well-being. It can manifest in various forms, including emotional blackmail, guilt-tripping, and passive-aggressive tactics. Understanding manipulation is the first crucial step toward empowering ourselves to respond effectively. Recognizing the signs and tactics used by manipulators is essential. For instance, manipulators might use charm or flattery to gain trust, only to later exploit that trust for their benefit. They may employ guilt, playing the victim to elicit sympathy and compliance from others. The key is to remain vigilant and attuned to these behaviors, allowing us to differentiate between genuine interactions and those marked by manipulation. Self-awareness plays a pivotal role in countering manipulation. Often we may find ourselves reacting instinctively to manipulative behaviors, leading to feelings of frustration, anger, or even self-doubt. However, by cultivating self-awareness, we can pause and assess our emotions. When you sense discomfort or unease in a conversation, take a moment to reflect on why you feel that way. This introspection can empower you to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. By recognizing your feelings, you gain control over your reactions and can articulate your thoughts more clearly. This self-reflection not only helps you navigate manipulative situations, but also fosters a deeper understanding of your own needs and boundaries. Setting boundaries is another vital aspect of managing manipulation. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and protecting your emotional well-being. When we establish clear and assertive boundaries, we communicate our limits to others. This isn't about pushing people away. Rather, it's about fostering respect and understanding. For example, if someone repeatedly interrupts you or disregards your opinions, expressing your need for respectful communication can shift the dynamic. It sends a message that you value yourself and your perspective, creating a healthier environment for interaction. When boundaries are respected, relationships can thrive on mutual understanding and respect, rather than manipulation. Knowledge is a powerful tool in the fight against manipulation. Familiarizing yourself with the various tactics employed by manipulators can significantly enhance your ability to navigate difficult situations. For instance, manipulators often exploit emotional triggers, and understanding these triggers can help you stay grounded. When you recognize that someone is trying to manipulate you, you can choose to disengage from the tactic rather than falling into the trap. This knowledge allows you to approach interactions with a sense of clarity and confidence, empowering you to maintain control over your responses. Interestingly, manipulation isn't always synonymous with negativity. It can also encompass positive influence, where one person encourages another toward growth or betterment. For instance, using persuasive techniques to inspire a friend to pursue their dreams or motivating a team to collaborate effectively can be seen as a form of manipulation with constructive intent. This positive manipulation stems from a place of care and respect, aiming to uplift others rather than undermine them. By recognizing this duality, we can harness the ability to manipulate those who manipulate us lies in our mindset and approach. It requires a shift from a reactive stance to a proactive one. When faced with manipulative behavior, we can use our insights and awareness to guide the conversation in a more constructive direction. For instance, if someone attempts to guilt you into a decision, you might respond by expressing your feelings openly, addressing the manipulation while also asserting your needs. This approach fosters an environment of mutual respect, transforming potential conflicts into opportunities for growth and understanding. In this journey of navigating manipulation, remember that you have the power to reclaim your voice and agency. By understanding manipulation, cultivating self-awareness, setting boundaries, and using knowledge as your ally, you can effectively manipulate those who manipulate you. It's about transforming potentially harmful interactions into opportunities for genuine connection and growth. Embracing this mindset not only strengthens your resilience against manipulation, manipulation is a complex issue that can arise in various forms within our personal and professional relationships. It often involves using influence or deceit to control others, resulting in a sense of powerlessness for those on the receiving end. Recognizing manipulation is the first crucial step toward reclaiming your power. It is essential to understand that manipulation can manifest in subtle ways, often disguised as concern or care. For instance, a friend who frequently seeks your attention may not realize their behavior is manipulative, but it can leave you feeling drained and overwhelmed. Similarly, a colleague who always seems to play the victim when faced with responsibility can create an environment of confusion and frustration. By identifying these behaviors, you begin to take the first step toward regaining control over your interactions. Self-awareness is another vital component in this journey. To combat manipulation effectively, it is essential to cultivate a deep understanding of your feelings and reactions. When you sense that familiar discomfort in a situation, perhaps a feeling of unease or pressure, it is crucial to pause and reflect. Ask yourself why you are feeling this way. Is it due to someone else's actions, or is there an underlying issue you need to address? Understanding your emotions allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This self-awareness is not just about recognizing when you're being manipulated, it's about understanding your triggers and how to navigate them. By tuning into your feelings, you empower yourself to make conscious decisions that reflect your values and boundaries, rather than being swept away by someone else's agenda. Establishing clear and healthy boundaries is perhaps one of the most empowering steps you can take when dealing with manipulation. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, they are about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. When you communicate your limits assertively, you send a clear message that you deserve respect and that you will not tolerate manipulative behavior. For example, if a friend repeatedly pressures you to make plans that don't suit you, expressing that you need time for yourself can be a crucial step in maintaining your integrity. When boundaries are set and respected, they create a safe space for authentic relationships to flourish. Establishing these limits may initially feel uncomfortable, especially if you are used to accommodating others at your own expense. However, over time, you will find that your relationships become healthier and more balanced when both parties respect one another's boundaries. Knowledge is a powerful tool in combating manipulation. By educating yourself about the tactics commonly used by manipulators, you become better equipped to handle such situations. Familiarize yourself with the signs and behaviors that indicate manipulation, such as gaslighting, guilt tripping, or playing the victim. Understanding these tactics allows you to navigate your interactions with greater awareness and intention. When you recognize the game being played, you can respond more effectively rather than falling into the trap of manipulation. For example, if a colleague attempts to shift blame onto you during a team project, being aware of this tactic allows you to address the situation head-on, reiterating your contributions and asserting your perspective. Interestingly, it's essential to remember that manipulation isn't inherently negative. In fact, it can be a powerful tool for positive influence. For instance, guiding someone toward personal growth or fostering collaboration within a team can be seen as forms of positive manipulation. By understanding the dynamics of influence, you can use your insights to uplift those around you rather than undermine them. Think of manipulation as a double-edged sword. One side can harm, while the other can encourage growth. Taking control of your interactions requires a mindset shift. To more meaningful connections. When you feel manipulation creeping in, an environment it's essential to shift the dynamic by using your insights to guide conversations. Speak your truth openly and express your needs with clarity. By doing so, you create a space for mutual respect and understanding, transforming a potentially toxic interaction into a constructive dialogue. This proactive approach empowers you to lead conversations toward more positive outcomes, allowing both parties to feel heard and valued. So the process of learning to manipulate those who manipulate you is not about revenge or deceit. It's about reclaiming your power and establishing a healthier, more authentic way of relating to others. Through awareness, self-reflection, boundary setting, and positive influence, you can transform your relationships into ones that are built on respect, trust, and empowerment. Manipulation is a complex concept often associated with deceit and control, where individuals use tactics to influence others for personal gain. It can appear in various forms, such as emotional manipulation, where someone plays on your feelings to achieve their desires, or social manipulation, where peer pressure influences your choices. Understanding what manipulation entails is crucial, as recognizing these behaviors in ourselves and others is the first step toward empowerment. When we are aware of manipulative tactics, we can better protect ourselves and respond effectively. Developing self-awareness is essential in dealing with manipulation. Often, we may find ourselves in situations where we feel uncomfortable or uneasy, yet we may not fully understand why. When you feel this way, it's vital to pause and reflect. Ask yourself what specific actions or words triggered this response. Is it the tone of someone's voice, the words they used, or the underlying implications of their message? By examining your emotions closely, you can identify patterns and develop a clearer understanding of what manipulation looks like for you personally. This introspection enables you to separate your genuine feelings from those imposed by others. Establishing clear boundaries is another key strategy in handling manipulation. Boundaries act as protective barriers that define what you will and will not tolerate from others. When you clearly communicate your limits, you are asserting your worth and establishing a framework for healthy relationships. For instance, if a friend often puts pressure on you to change plans at the last minute, express your need for consistency and respect for your time. By doing this, you not only protect your interests, but also convey to the other person that their manipulative behavior is unacceptable. Setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out. Rather, it's about creating a safe space for yourself where you can interact with others on your terms. Knowledge is indeed a powerful tool against manipulation. By familiarizing yourself with various manipulative tactics, you can recognize when someone is trying to influence you negatively. Common strategies include guilt tripping, gaslighting, and playing the victim. When you understand these tactics, you can respond more effectively and assertively. For instance, if someone tries to guilt trip you into doing something you don't want to do, you can calmly express your feelings without succumbing to their pressure. This approach not only disarms the manipulator, but also reinforces your autonomy. Moreover, educating yourself about the psychology behind manipulation can further enhance your resilience. Understanding why people manipulate, often stemming from their insecurities or needs, can help you detach emotionally from the situation, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. Interestingly, manipulation isn't inherently negative. It can also involve positively influencing others in constructive ways. For example, in a team setting, you might encourage collaboration and motivate your peers to work toward a common goal. By understanding the dynamics of influence, you can employ your insights to uplift rather than undermine those around you. This positive manipulation involves inspiring others to recognize their potential and supporting their growth, creating an environment of trust and respect. Taking control in manipulative situations requires a shift in mindset. Instead of feeling like a victim, see yourself as an active participant in the interaction. When you sense manipulation, use your insights to steer the conversation in a direction that aligns with your values and needs. Speak your truth openly, expressing your thoughts and feelings with clarity. By doing so, you create an atmosphere where mutual respect can thrive. This transformation allows you to turn potentially toxic interactions into constructive dialogues, fostering healthier relationships. In navigating the complexities of manipulation, it's essential to cultivate awareness, set firm boundaries, and empower yourself with knowledge. By understanding the dynamics at play, you can reclaim your power and engage in relationships that are grounded in authenticity and respect. Embracing this journey of self-discovery and empowerment allows you to navigate the intricacies of human interaction with grace and strength. Manipulation is a concept that often carries a negative connotation, yet it's essential to understand its nuances to navigate relationships effectively. At its core, manipulation involves exerting influence over others. And while it can be harmful, it can also be a tool for positive change. Recognizing and understanding manipulation is crucial for maintaining healthy boundaries and relationships. One of the first steps in addressing manipulation is to develop self-awareness. It's easy to become embroiled in situations where we feel manipulated without understanding why we feel that way. Often it manifests as discomfort or confusion when interacting with certain individuals. By tuning into our feelings, we can start to recognize patterns in our responses to others. This self-awareness allows us to distinguish between genuine relationships and those based on manipulation. When we recognize our emotional triggers, we empower ourselves to respond more thoughtfully. Instead of reacting impulsively out of anger or frustration, we can take a moment to pause and assess the situation, ultimately leading to healthier interactions. Setting clear boundaries is another crucial aspect of managing manipulation. Many people who manipulate others thrive on the inability of their targets to assert themselves. When we fail to communicate our limits, we open the door for others to overstep. Establishing boundaries is not an act of aggression, rather, it is an assertion of our self-worth. By articulating what behaviors we find unacceptable, we protect ourselves from being drawn into manipulative dynamics. For example, if a friend frequently seeks your assistance without reciprocating, expressing your feelings can change the trajectory of that relationship. You might say, "I love helping you, but I need it to be mutual. I can't always be the one to support you." This approach fosters mutual respect and accountability, which are foundational for healthy relationships. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to manipulation. The more we understand the tactics that manipulators employ, the better equipped we are to handle them. Manipulators may use guilt, emotional appeals, or even flattery to gain influence over others. Familiarizing ourselves with these techniques enables us to identify them in action, allowing us to navigate conversations more effectively. For instance, if someone attempts to make you feel guilty for not agreeing to their demands, recognizing this tactic manipulation does not have to be a negative force. Rather than it can also be a tool for positive influence. When we talk about manipulating someone positively, we refer to the act of guiding them your resolve and avoid being swayed by their emotional collaboration in a team setting. Positive manipulation can involve using your understanding of human psychology to inspire others. For example, a manager who encourages their team through positive reinforcement is effectively using manipulation to create a productive work environment. By celebrating achievements and acknowledging hard work, they inspire their team to strive for excellence. This constructive manipulation focuses on uplifting and empowering those around us, creating an atmosphere of support and collaboration. To effectively manipulate those who manipulate you, it's vital to shift the dynamic in your relationships. When faced with manipulative behavior, you can turn the situation around by employing the insights you've gained. Speak openly about your feelings and needs and do so with confidence. When you take the initiative in a conversation, you set the tone for the interaction. For example, if a colleague consistently undermines your contributions in meetings, you might address it directly. I've noticed that my ideas often seem to be overlooked. Understanding manipulation is a powerful tool. I would appreciate it if we could create a more inclusive discussion. By developing self-awareness, this proactive approach transforms educating ourselves about manipulation situation into an opportunity for constructive dialogue. We can reclaim control over our relationships. Instead of being passive recipients of others' manipulative behaviors, we can engage actively, fostering relationships that are built on respect, trust, and authenticity. In this way, we can empower ourselves and others, creating a more harmonious and balanced environment in which everyone can thrive. Manipulation is a complex and often misunderstood concept that can have significant impacts on our personal and professional lives. To effectively navigate these waters, it is crucial to understand what manipulation truly means. At its core, manipulation involves influencing someone to do something that may not be in their best interest or to achieve a desired outcome without their full awareness. This can manifest in many forms: emotional manipulation, guilt trips, gaslighting, and even passive-aggressive behavior. Recognizing these behaviors in ourselves and others is the first step in reclaiming our power and steering our interactions toward more positive outcomes. Self-awareness plays a vital role in combating manipulation. When we become attuned to our feelings and reactions in the face of potential manipulation, we empower ourselves to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. For instance, when you sense someone trying to manipulate you, take a moment to pause and reflect on your emotional response. Are you feeling anxious, angry, or confused? These feelings can signal that something is off. By honing this awareness, we can create a mental space that allows us to evaluate the situation more clearly. Understanding our emotions can lead us to better decisions, helping us navigate relationships without falling into the trap of manipulation. Establishing boundaries is another critical tool in our arsenal against manipulation. Boundaries serve as a protective shield, letting others know what we will and will not tolerate in our interactions. They are not walls meant to isolate us, but rather guidelines that foster healthier relationships. For example, if a friend frequently cancels plans at the last minute, it's essential to communicate how this behavior affects you. By expressing your needs and setting limits, you signal to them that respect is a two-way street. This not only protects your emotional well-being, but also lays the groundwork for more respectful and meaningful interactions. Knowledge is power, and when it comes to manipulation, being informed is crucial. Familiarizing ourselves with common manipulative tactics can enhance our ability to identify and counteract them. For instance, understanding techniques such as guilt induction or emotional blackmail can prepare us for those situations. The more we know about these tactics, the better equipped we become to handle them. Instead of feeling confused or cornered when faced with manipulation, we can respond with clarity and strength. This knowledge not only helps us defend ourselves, but also empowers us to educate others about healthy interactions. Interestingly, manipulation isn't always negative. It can also have constructive applications. Understanding that manipulation can be a form of influence opens the door to using it positively. This means recognizing when we can guide or encourage others in ways that benefit everyone involved. For example, in a workplace setting, using positive influence can motivate a team member to reach their potential or collaborate effectively. By applying our understanding of influence thoughtfully, we can create environments where everyone feels supported and valued rather than controlled or belittled. Taking control of our interactions requires a shift in mindset. When we feel manipulation at play, it's important to reframe our perspective and assert our position. Instead of feeling victimized, we can view the situation as an opportunity to practice our assertiveness and communication skills. Engaging in open and honest dialogue about our needs and feelings can transform a potentially manipulative encounter into a productive conversation. By setting the tone, we can foster an atmosphere of mutual respect where both parties feel heard and valued. Ultimately, the key to navigating manipulation lies in our ability to recognize it, understand our emotions, set healthy boundaries, and use our influence wisely. By developing self-awareness and educating ourselves about manipulation, we empower ourselves to steer our interactions toward more positive and fulfilling outcomes. Remember, the goal is not to manipulate others in return, but to create a space where healthy, respectful communication flourishes. In doing so, we can transform our relationships, allowing them to thrive on trust, respect, and authenticity. By taking these steps, we not only protect ourselves from manipulation, but also foster a culture of empowerment and understanding in our interactions with others.